All right, what's up, guys? It's Kyle with another episode of Unlocking Inner Strength with my new friend Mike GasMoney. He's out in California, Napa Valley. So we're going to be talking. Mike's got a gym out there. He's doing great things in the coaching world. So Mike, thanks for being with me.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's get it
Yeah.
cracking.
So we got connected, guys, through Wes Watson. Both are under his tutelage, under his guidance, and I've been watching Mike's stuff. It's been really good, on Instagram, and he's just crushing it. And then I found out he had a gym out there too, because a lot of the guys, right, don't have necessarily that background. So let's talk about, Mike, first of all, where you're living right now for people that don't know. Tell us a little bit about the gym. When did you start the gym? Let's talk about that to begin.
Yeah. So I started my gym when I was 26 years old, literally no money. I was doing construction for about 3 years. And instead of doing that, I decided to risk it all and start my own gym. I had this fire to start my own business, and it just so happened that I came across this opportunity, took a 10K line of credit, started my own gym with no experience, no sales experience, no marketing experience. I wasn't even a personal trainer at the time. I played baseball in college, but I didn't have any sort of experience, but I'm so happy I did. Started it at 26. It's a gym called Saint Fit. You can see it in the back. And it's out in Napa Valley. If you don't know where the Napa Valley is, that's where the grapes grow. That's where any sort of wine that you drink, anywhere that you see anywhere, that's probably where it was made, here in the Napa Valley, about an hour from San Francisco. But I like to say it's called Saint for a reason, because we're literally changing people's lives, not just physically, but confidence-wise, dropping the vices, dropping the drink, dropping the pills. And that's why it's special to me, because when I called it Saint, I didn't really see the whole picture of it. I didn't really see what I was doing. But again, like, I was just walking the path, and the path kind of illuminates as you walk it. And I just followed it. And then as I look back and I'm connecting the dots, connecting backwards, I'm like, damn, it's called Saint for a reason. And Wes on the call, Wes was even just like, man, it's called Saint for a reason. Like, you're out here like with a purpose. You're out here changing lives and like let people know. And so I just, ran with it.
That's cool, man. So you started out when you were 26. I was about the same age when I started ours. Now, what year was that? Like, how old are you right now?
I'm 34. That was 2015.
Okay.
Man, so yeah, I had one person tell me, she was just like, there's a lot of doubters, you know what I mean? Like, always somebody just trying to rain on your parade. So anybody who's listening to this, like, just know, like, new levels, new devils, somebody's always going to try to shit on you in some facet. You just got to stay strong. But they're just like, yeah, we'll see if you make it. Like, the first 3 years, like, after 3 years, that's usually when businesses fail. I'm like, I don't want to hear all that. You know what I mean? Like, you should be telling me that I'm going to succeed, I'm going to thrive, I'm going to do it. And then same thing happened when COVID happened. Like, they're like, oh, like, are you okay? Like, are you going to stay open? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, don't worry about me. Like, go watch your news, go watch the news, like, whatever. And live in fear. I'm not partaking in that,
Yeah. Yeah, that's is right on, man. It's the right mindset. You can't, so many people are just, they live in fear. That's what they do, man. And it's the way the brain is wired. These people, like you said, they'll watch the news, man. They get all caught up in this drama and stuff they have no control over, man. It's just silly.
I know. I think I had to turn off CNN and Fox News because people were going too crazy. I was like, look, I know something dramatic is happening out in the world, but like, in all reality, what are you going to do about it? You're complaining about Biden, you're complaining about Trump, but in all reality, what are you going to do? Like, nothing.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing that you're going to do. So now I was like, you should be putting all that energy and whatever, all that energy that you have into your own life. Like, imagine what you could change instead of complaining about what's on the news, what they're doing. So I turned off all the channels, and people would like try to put on the channel and they're like, what happened? I was like, y'all are fighting over it. Like, y'all are fighting over, it'll be like 30 minutes here. Then Joe will walk in and try to change it to Fox. And I'm like, we're here to work out. Like, we're here to like come together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, man. People get so caught up in that stuff, man. And like you said, it's just it's a Dax, cut it out. It's a big distraction, right? It's a big distraction from their own life and stuff that they should be doing. Hold on one second. Come on, get out of here. Get out. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a big distraction, dude. It's like, people don't want to focus on the work that's right in front of them, man. But let's with Saint Fit, do you have coaches there, or was it just you running the show? Like, talk about that. Like, what's
Oh, no. I always just had a vision of it being like a real business, not where I'm constantly working in my business. Like, I wanted to be somebody that worked on the business, not just in the business, where if I leave, then it just shuts down. So I can literally fly to Mexico right now if I wanted to. I won't, but if I wanted to, I could. Like, I have a general manager, I have coaches, I have front desk staff. Everybody's like dialed in, and that's kind of what I wanted. I always wanted to build like a culture and build a team and like all move together. Like, it's not just the Mike show. Like, I want a team to like rise up together. So yeah, I have personal trainers, man.
Right. So are you doing much of the coaching anymore, or are you pretty much just kind of running the show?
No, yeah, I coach my team, so like they need to be educated too. Like, and that's one of the things that I learned in business is like, don't expect your employees to know everything. Like, they don't know your culture, they don't know your philosophies. So I spend a lot of time coaching my team and doing it the best I can. And I'm still learning, because it's an absolutely hard thing. Like, your business depends on the people that you have, not just the product or the service. Like, you got to get your people educated. And that's what I spend my most time on, is just making sure that they're held accountable, doing what they got to do, having the right mindset, the whole thing. So, but as far as the actual like training people, I don't do any of that.
Nice. It's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. So, and then we were talking before we came on, you took baseball to a high level, Division I. Talk about your path with baseball. Like, when did you start playing? And then when did you realize that you wanted to keep taking it to higher and higher levels? And what did you learn from playing baseball?
Oh man. So I was always just a good athlete. I don't know how you were or whatnot, but I was just always a good athlete at all sports, basketball, football, baseball. But never like crazy good where they're like where I knew that I was going to play in college. But when I was 15 years old, my dad was actually working for an ex owner of the Fresno Grizzlies AAA team out in Fresno. And he played professional ball. He actually worked on Wall Street. He owned like a financial firm. He was a very successful dude. Like, when we talk about across the board, like, this guy was it. And he's the one who actually got the whole phrase repetition makes reputation. And I like say that a lot, and like people probably correlate that with me who know me, but I actually got it from him, and he was my first mentor. And my dad was working for him, and they didn't really have that. They had an okay relationship, just kind of like a normal like business client relationship. And my dad's like, hey, I got to bounce early. I got to go to my son's baseball game. And when he said that, this guy turned around. He's like, baseball? You have a son? He plays baseball? And like, baseball lit up his world. And he's gone now. So like he passed away. But he came out and saw me, and he's like, holy shit, like, you're really good. You got hands, you got feet, you got that Latin kind of feel for baseball. And from that point, he literally, like, I was just rough on the edges. At 15 and a half, that's kind of late, dude. Like, if you're going to play college ball, that's late. Like, you should have been started at 10, 11 years old, really honing your craft. But he got me, and he was my first mentor, man. Like, he had me over at his house doing mock interviews of like how to sit up straight, like how to answer questions, how to look people in the eye. He really taught me like core values, because at the time I was like, dude, I was going through what all of us go through at some point, like kind of like an identity crisis. Like, I was wearing like baggy clothes. Like, I thought I was like a hip hop rapper, like for a second, I thought I was like something else like that. I wasn't. And once he got me, kind of got my head straight, and we really worked on just everything, like everything that came with mindset, baseball. And by the time I like I barely made the team, but without his help, I would have never made it. And so that's kind of how it started.
No kidding. And then you took that. So you didn't start until that late, 15 and a half.
Way too late. Yeah.
Wow. And so you never played Little League?
No. I played little league. I played high school ball and all
Okay.
that type of stuff. But like, in order to take it to that level, like
Division
you
One,
gotta
yeah.
like be on travel club teams. You gotta be like hiring extra coaches out on the side. Like coming from where I come from, like, dude, it's all about sipping wine and what restaurant to go to. It's not like Dallas, like East Bay, like it's not this big city, right? So like, my story is like a Rudy like story. Like I really grinded. I was working hard. I was like one of the hardest workers ever to come out of this city, and probably one of the hardest workers at St. Mary's College too.
Yes, talk about that. When you went up to St. Mary's, you walked down there,
Hmm.
and then like what was that? They had open tryouts and you just picked it.
Oh man, dude, like, did you go to school? Did you go to college or
Yeah, I
anything?
went to Delaware, University of Delaware.
Okay, all right. Well, coming from where dude, like, you got to understand, like, coming from where I came from like a middle class, good family, but we were like blue collar. Like, I would work the summers with my dad doing construction. I wasn't really book smart. I wasn't really aware to the world uh, beyond my little world, right? So, like, when I got to school, it was a bigger school. Shit was moving way too fast for me. And it was the first day of practice. And I remember driving up in my 1994 Ford Explorer, had a freaking dent on the side of it because someone punched it in during a fight that I was like around. And I rolled up there. All the parking spaces were filled. So me, because I was a little cocky, a little over just whatever in my own little world, I was like, fuck it, I'm late. I'm just going to park wherever I want. Like, I gotta go. I wasn't trying to be a dick or anything. I was just like, no one's gonna notice. And this kind of goes back to kind of cutting corners, and like how you do anything is how you do everything. And so I parked in the wrong spot. I roll up on the field. This is the first conversation that I have with the head coach. And he's like, "Is that your car parked?" And I get yelled at, like screamed at. And that's basically how my first year goes. The entire year is Gas is getting screamed at, yelled at, running. He's the example of what not to do. And that's why I have like tough skin now. Like it takes a lot. That's why I keep going, because of all those little moments. But he was screaming me up and down. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. I was like, oh damn, like this is a bad look, man.
So you got off on the wrong foot with the coach.
Big time.
And then, that was tryouts. How long did that process go on for, where you had to kind of regain his trust in some ways right out the gate? Like how long were the tryouts for? When did you find out you made the team? And then what happened from there?
Dude, tryouts were like 45, 50 days. There was like, there was like 50 guys trying out. I came at a time when like there was like 50 guys trying out on this damn team. After I made the team and when like everything was all good, there was only like 3 guys trying out for the team. I was like, damn, like I really had it hard. There was one guy, he looked like a football player, like a D1 football player. He's like 240 pounds, like, but we're all like 19, dude. Like that's pretty massive. And I'm like, I'm going against this guy. Like this is crazy. But I was one of the, I think they took on like 2 or 3 guys. I was like one of the 3 guys that they took on. And when did it kind of smooth over? It didn't. Like for the next 2 years, I was pretty much getting shitted on the entire time. But it's kind of how it goes, man.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
The people don't realize, like a lot of people quit that were good players, but they didn't have that mentality. And I think I had a lot of that mentality even before, but going through that process of getting yelled at, getting put on the spot, just seeing if you're going to crack or not, I didn't, like not even once. And a lot of kids like packed it up and bounced, and they were on scholarship, the whole nine.
Sure. So what year was it in college when you all of a sudden you got inserted coming from a walk-on, you get inserted to the lineup and wind up taking over and then sliding over to shortstop? What year of school was that?
Yeah, so I was already on the team for 2 years. I redshirted my first year. The next year was like my freshman year, technically. So my third year, the star second baseman went out partying one night, got a DUI, got in trouble. Like, you can't cover that up, you know what I mean? And they tried to, they wanted to. So they had to look to the next guy up, and that was pretty much me. And once they put me in, I never left the lineup because I got on base. I was a tough out. I did what needed to be done. I showed up, I worked hard, and I had a good glove. Like, I didn't miss ground ball. Like, I made every play. Like, I had a fucking good glove. Like, that was probably my best quality, is like I was a vacuum out there.
And that's key, man. If you can field, if you can play defense in any sport, man, the higher up you go, there's usually going to be a spot for you. That's what I always believe. Such a good skill, man. Now, so with that, were you hitting the gym yet? I know we talked a little bit about the old strength coach there. Like, what did they have any type of program for you guys?
Yeah, we had a program, but oh man, there's just like so much was missing. I mean, we did, we had the whiteboard, it had like the daily workout, and it was a lot of clean and press, clean and jerk, um, compound movements, and it was all like 5x5, 3x5s, step up, stuff like that. But in terms of like getting bigger, I never really got bigger. I was 149 pounds, dude. Like, that's like women way more than that, bro. Like, I was tiny. And so I didn't really start lifting until I got out of college. And I really started doing bodybuilding style, like power building, bodybuilding, that kind of style workouts. But again, I kind of attribute all that to lack of education, a lack of mentorship, and maybe probably a lack of willingness to learn and be open to it as well. Like, I was just focused on, my mentality was just like, get better at your skills. Like, don't worry about getting bigger. But I didn't know. I wish somebody would have been like, dog, you need to get bigger because you got skills, but no one's going to notice you when you're like a stick, when you're like wiry and you're skinny. And I wasn't like crazy fast either. So it's not like I was just some skinny guy that was like blazing and that type of thing. I was just an average, like, skinny guy.
You made it work though, right?
Yeah. With the skills. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So when you came out there, you come out of St. Mary's, what was the next step? What did you do at that point?
I actually got so dude, full circle, man. Like, so I walked on, got shitted on. Like, dude, when I mean shitted on, like, I was the guy getting yelled at. I was the guy getting blamed at for everything. By the end of it, I was starting every game. And what happened was, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of baseball. I'm just going to go back home and I'm going to go work for my dad. I'm ready to be done with this shit. Like, I'm tired of like showing up, just because there was a period of time where I didn't start. And so I was like, I don't know if it's worth it. So I was like, I'm just going to go back home and work for my dad. I didn't pick up a baseball for like 3 months. One of the kids that was on scholarship, he decided to transfer to ASU. And so they didn't have a shortstop. And so the phone rings and they're like, Gas, we need you. I didn't pick up a baseball. I was planning on, all right, it's done. I'm leaving. I'm moving on with my life. And they basically I would say like, they basically like begged me to come back in a way. And they offered me a full ride scholarship to start my MBA, my master's in business administration. I still was like, I don't know if I want to do it. I ended up taking it. And I started my first year of business, my MBA. And then after that, finished that and then went straight to work doing construction. But it was just kind of crazy, like how from the beginning to the end, how it all worked out.
Yeah, it is, man. Like you mentioned earlier, that man, the path kind of illuminates, right? As we keep walking, like Indiana Jones, you got to know that next step, that the bridge is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So you go into construction, working with your dad, right? At that point, and then you're still going to like you started getting into the gym as a hobby, I'm guessing, within that time period.
Oh, I'm sorry. You broke up a little bit, or maybe
Okay.
it's my fault. Say that one last question
Yeah,
again.
no problem. So like after that, you go work in construction with your dad, right?
Hmm.
Like you're doing that. Were you getting really into the gym at that point as far as a hobby? Like,
Yeah. Like I said, I was still like 152 pounds. So, I was watching all the YouTube videos. That's basically where I learned a lot of this stuff, was just researching YouTube videos. I didn't hire my first fitness coach until Wes. And then, which was like, I was like, damn, like I should have done this shit 10 years ago. But I was in the gym doing the normal thing, but I still wasn't eating correctly. I was still drinking on the weekends, still not taking care of my body. Really wasn't understanding hypertrophy training at all. So took me quite a long time to figure out. I learned a lot of mistakes. That's why mentorship is so valuable, because I could teach somebody something in 7 minutes that took me 7 years, which is really valuable.
yeah, it's huge, man. Cutting down on your time, to knowledge, with the mentorship. I'm a big believer in that, man. Same reason, that I hired Wes. I've always had coaches, man, since 2008, man. I started hiring people to coach me in whether it's fitness or business, masterminds, all that type of stuff, man. So then you opened the gym 2015, right? 2015. Was it the same location you're at now, or have you like what was that process?
Yeah, man. No, after explaining all this, it is kind of interesting. So this gym that I'm in now, it is the same location. It was actually a gym before me. This was the gym that I actually worked out at.
Ah,
So I'm working out at the gym. It's like 11 o'clock in the day, and I strike up a conversation. I've always been pretty like personable to a point. Still an introvert, but like pretty personable. And I strike up a conversation with the owner, and basically, what he says is like, man, I'm ready to get out of this. I'm tired of this. And so I kept that locked in my mind. I'm like, huh, that's interesting that he would say that. And I've always been entrepreneurial. I have always had that kind of like thought process. And so I came back around to him a few days later, a week later. I'm like, hey, because I didn't want to hit him with everything all at that moment, because he probably would have just got scared and been like, oh, no, I'm divulging too much information. But what I did was I held on to that information. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit on that for a second. And I came back to him, and we worked out a deal. And again, I didn't have any money. So for some reason, I negotiated a deal where I took over the business and I became it mine. And essentially, it was a failing business. A lot of machines weren't working. It was outdated, and I just started where I could. I installed a lot of the stuff, a lot of the flooring, a lot of the walls, a lot of the painting, all that shit. Like I did it by hand.
that's good, man. But it ties you in. I think when you can learn and grow business from that level, man, from like the grassroots,
Mhm.
right? You learn so much more. So you did that. Um, how long was that process as far as like when you bought the gym from this guy? Was it a quick thing or was it like months or
Yeah,
years?
well, no. It was quick. It was quick. He, like I said, right time, right place. He was ready. I was ready. It was like the old bull and the new bull. Like I was hungry, and he was ready to get out. The thing is that part of the deal was I let him. Well, I don't know if I let him, but the deal was that he stayed inside the location rent free, and you know, specific details that I'll leave out, but basically he still stayed inside the gym for the next year. After that year, he moved on based on our agreement. And then, but it was quick, like it was mine within a couple months, just
Okay.
contracts and all that stuff.
And when he stayed there, was he working out there or was he like still running running his business?
Yeah, so he actually owned the gym, but he was a physical therapist. So all he
Gotcha.
needed was just a little space to do his practice. So I said, hey, you do this here and we can kind of work around each other. But that was part of the deal where it's like, hey, I didn't have any money. I had to leverage whatever stuff that I could to make this happen.
That's cool, man. Very cool. So you do that, you go through that, you open, now you got a staff and everything. So talk about now, Mike, at what point did you seek out Wes right? I know you kind of went through his business
Oh, yeah,
coaching and his fitness coaching as well.
yeah.
Which one was first and why?
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, the fitness, mindset, nutrition was first. Um, so 2019, 2020, around that time, COVID and all that type of stuff, I was drinking a lot, like a lot more than I should have. I know a lot of people say, well, I could let it go easy. Like, I don't have a drinking problem. I'm like, I was kind of the same way. I thought the same way. I'm like, that's kind of a crutch. That's an excuse. Cause like I was over drinking, man. Like I was drinking in the middle of the day. Like I thought I was Scarface, like thinking I was running the business, making business moves, having a little like wine here, a little whiskey here. And then at nighttime, I would have more. And then what that led to was fighting with the girlfriend, not working out, having headaches. And yeah, I wasn't a crazy like nuisance. I wasn't going to jail or anything, but I definitely wasn't going forward. And so I was sitting on my couch. I think I had a super burrito. I had a kawama, like a big, that's what they call like a big 32-ounce like beer. And I was skinny fat. And I came across Wes's videos and I'm like, who's this fucking guy screaming and yelling? And I started listening because it was entertaining at the time. And I started listening and it just struck me, man. Like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, this guy is speaking some real shit and he's talking to me. And after I watched a couple of videos of his, I was like, you know what? I just don't even want to create my own workout plans. I don't even want to create nutrition stuff. Like just someone tell me what to do. This guy seems like he's perfect. And to be honest, I didn't know it was going to lead to all this other stuff. So I signed up with him. He texted me right away. Boom, boom. We got started. And I ended up being one of his best clients, I would say, because I got a transformation. He posted it. From there, after being in this program, just like Guerrero, just like Superhuman Fathers, just like a lot of the other guys, I went through his program for a whole year. I didn't deviate from anything. And he has a lot to do with that because he got into my mindset. That's why mindset's very powerful. Like anybody who's listening to this, do not undervalue the mindset because if you can get somebody to take you and adopt their principles of discipline, motivation, all that type of stuff, that's what you need. It's not the fitness, it's not the nutrition. And he helped me get there. But I was with him for about a year. Then I went on the business stuff. So I learned his system, I would say the best way that you possibly can, like by actually infiltrating it, by doing it.
Went through it, yeah.
Yeah.
Went through it. And then you get to the end of the year, the mindset dialed in, body transformation, all that type of stuff. What was the thought process as far as, okay, let me hire Wes for business coaching now?
Well, I saw all these other guys doing it. I was like, damn, well, I killed that shit. Like, I own a gym. I was already doing online coaching. That's the thing. Like, because COVID shut my gym down 3 times. So I was like, I was on Wes's program, but while I was on Wes's program, I was seeing how he was doing it. You know what I mean? Like I was observing, and that's one of the qualities that I do have. Like I'll observe and I'll watch and I'll see how I have like a business mindset. And I actually had like 13 clients, 13 to 15 clients at the time, even before I jumped on Wes's business coaching program. And why? Because I had to. They shut down my gym 3 times. Half of my members left. I was like, dog, like I gotta pay bills, like I gotta survive, like all that stuff. So once I got on the business program, I already knew how it worked. I told Wes, all I need you for, and I mean this like respectfully, is like all I need him for is the mindset. Like I already know the fitness, I already know the nutrition. I'm rolling with Wes for the mindset, the drive, the push, the urgency, the consistency, all that other stuff, the message,
Yeah, yeah, man. And that was good foresight, good self-awareness, which most people lack. They don't know exactly what they need, especially when they get into a mentor or somebody coaching them. So that's good, man. You've been crushing it. I've been watching your stuff, man. It's really good. And So you're hustling, man, because you essentially got two businesses, right?
Yep, that's
Yeah, I
right.
know it's fitness, but it's two
They're
things.
two separate.
Yeah, it's two full-time thing, man. So that's good, man. So let me ask you this. Where do you see yourself, Mike, like within a year from now? Like, what do you see? Anything changing as far as the businesses within a year, as far as maybe growth, or talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I see myself, obviously the foundation is going to be fairly the same. If you're asking about a year, nothing too crazy. I think just more exposure, like going to those masterminds, doing the podcast, just getting my story, as they say, like out there, and just getting my face out there and talking, because I do have experience, and that's the thing that um kind of irritates me a little bit. I'm like, dog, it doesn't matter if you're 20 or not, as long as you have experience, as long as you've had the money, as long as you've had the employees and had the experience, the results. I don't care if you're a 20-year-old or not. But that's the thing I do have, is I'm cultivating quite a lot of experience. So whether I'm the perfect guy, well, I'm down the path. You know what I mean? I can help somebody get ripped, make more money, increase their confidence, drop the drink. I could do all that stuff. Like, I have some of the best transformations in the game. Like, there's a lot of coaches out there, but I get some of the best ones. And Wes gets some of the best ones. Superhuman Fathers gets some of the best ones. Guerrero gets some good ones. Like, so I pride myself on that. Like, I actually have experience, I have results. So just more exposure, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it's good the path that you're on, man. Like you said, you got the experience as far as the coaching, how to dial people in and transform the body, man. Now, I'll finish with two of these, two more quick questions for you. If you could go back and give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would you tell him?
Hire a coach. Hire a fucking coach, like, and get a good one. I think of mentors kind of like, mentors and books are people that find you. Like, it's not something that you're like, let's scroll on Google and see what coach I should have, what book I should read, like how to make money in 2023. Nah, like, you don't really do it like that. You're supposed to have it you're supposed to be in alignment with the universe. The book will fall on your lap. Your mentor will kind of come to you. Like Wes, kind of just like, I was just scrolling and then I saw his stuff and then it struck a chord. My other mentor kind of like fell in my life just like that. And then even other mentors that I've had, same thing. So it's more about like having awareness to just be like, man, I keep seeing this book, this person keeps popping up and I like them. Let's give this a shot. And so like what that does is it basically time collapses. I mean, something that could take you 10 years, if not never, in a matter of a year or less. So like, if you ever want to make money, it might take you 10 years or never to get to that $1 million. And to be honest, it might be never, like, for real. But a mentor could help you get there in a year.
Sure, man. That's great. Hire a coach and a good one, man. Last one. If I ask you, okay, and maybe it's not your favorite one, but like favorite book, what comes to mind?
Oof. Well, I'll tell you two. So I really do think that there's wisdom and power in the Bible.
Sure.
I really, that would be, if I'm going to prison and I'm getting locked up, I'm going to have that book in, and that's going to be the book right there. Second book would be, I'm reading a book. It's called Working with the Law. And that's something that I've been really exploring in the last year or so. I'm realizing it's not so much about doing. Like, you can swing the hammer all the time, and you could feel like you're really not getting anywhere. Well, you might not be working with the laws of the universe. So there are laws at play. Obviously, everybody knows the law of attraction, the law of receiving, the law of compensation, law of supply. Like, there's all these certain laws that it's more about how grateful you are, how present you are. That's what's going to attract the client that you want, the money that you want. That's going to help you become more happy and feel free and abundant. Like, there's certain things that really open the gateway for success. And that's what I've been learning about more and more and more. But it's not just about learning it, it's about like being it and applying it and really being that person and knowing how to like manipulate it in times where you're feeling not grateful, when you're feeling in need or lack of. Like anytime you say I want, I need, well, you're pushing it further away. You have to come like from the goal, not to the goal. You don't want to go to the goal. And that's where I've done it. And I still do it. And I'm like, Mike, you're trying to chase. Like the whole thing is you're supposed to have it already and it's supposed to come to you like a magnet.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's awesome. You said that's working with the law?
Yeah, it's working with the law.
That sounds cool, man. I love that stuff. Great, dude. Well, man, this has been good. I could talk to you a lot more. I'm sure we will do a part two. Where can people, like, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, to follow you, to see what's going on in your world?
You can follow me on GasMoney1 on IG. YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. Just type in GasMoney or my name, Michael Gastelum, Mike Gastelum. I have my business one, my actual gym location. So if anybody's in Napa Valley, it's rare, but if you find yourself out here, I'm here. It's called Saint Fit One, and that's where you can find me. And I'm pretty accessible. Like I'm on my phone all day, texting leads, answering calls, handling business.
That's it, man. Yeah, you're a success, man. It's good. I can see it, and then just speaking with you, yeah, you're on point, man. So it's good, man. People are lucky to have you. Your clients are lucky to have you, and fortunately, they don't even have to live. I mean, it's great if they live there, like you said, come see you in person, but they can access you anywhere, man, all over the world. So that's pretty awesome, dude.
It's so good. Like I talk to leads and they're like, but I don't live near you. I'm like, that's okay. Like I can still work with you. I have clients in New York, Texas, the UK, Australia, and I just start naming all the points. And me and one of my general managers were saying like we should come up with an ad and it'll be like Miss America. It'll be like Texas, like New York, like Portugal, like all these places, because we really do have all these clients from all over the freaking place after doing this for a couple years now.
Yeah, that's great, dude. Worldwide, bro. Well, this has been fun. Let me bring it to a stop. Hold on.